My name is Olusola Amusan. I'm the citizenship manager at Microsoft Nigeria. As we are here today, we are all young people who are born in the cloud or who are born for the cloud. Those who will be born tomorrow, today, in 2016, will be people who were born in, those who were born in the 90s who are probably here. Because that's where we live. We wake up in the morning and before we say our prayers, we're replying a ping. You understand what I'm talking about. You wake up in the morning, the first thing that wakes you up is one alert of a WhatsApp message from somebody, and before you even say your prayer, you're checking an email. We are born in the cloud, and we are born for the cloud. But we can either decide to be consumers in this economy or be producers in the same. For the past 50 years since we got our independence, we have lived as a consuming nation far more than a producing nation. And in a nation where you consume what you do not produce and produce what you do not consume, there is never an economy that can survive on that equation. We all, as young people, must stand integral. And we must recognize our space, we must recognize our positioning as really, really important. So we are born in the cloud. Everything we do is technology. Everything we live is technology. We don't want to, even go out and wave down a taxi. Since we have an app on our phone, Uber, we just want to do everything at the touch of a button. We don't want to go submit job CVs anymore because, yes, we have Jobberman. We want to do everything with technology. I work for an organization who, interestingly, has a huge commitment to driving this digital economy by empowering every person, every individual, and organization on this planet to be able to achieve more. And I say this not as a marketing commercial, but because I experienced it. A few years ago, I was in the university, maybe like some of you are here today, just a few years ago. And in the sense of few, I actually do mean few. I got into a university where, like many of you, you probably went to the same kind of university where the lecture notes are the lecture notes that our fathers used in the 1980s. And it's so much pride for the lecturers because it says, this note was passed down to me by my supervisor, and I'm teaching you with the same, recycling an old chain of mediocrity over and over again. I needed something new. I needed something different. I needed to learn what will put me at par with my mates across the world. I was being taught Fortran 77 in 2007. So I knew that I needed something different because it was the same year I got on Facebook. It was the same year I knew about Mark Zuckerberg, a 24-year-old guy who most of us have assumed would never be more than 24 because we keep saying he's 24 every year. Then he was 24 and he created Facebook, and I thought to myself, who is this young man who would have created something this fascinating with a knowledge of 2 years in the university? What do I need to know? What can my Fortran create? And so I started learning, I started researching, I started looking for more. We started a small group called the Software Developers Research Initiative for Nigeria, even when we did not know what an institute meant. We formed a small group, and long and short of the story was that we were learning C#, we were learning Java, we were learning every other thing that was not taught by our lecturers. A certain lecturer taught me Java for a semester and did not write a single Java program. Amazingly, a lot has changed about that university now. I worked in that same university for a year as a research assistant, and I learned a lot. And most people who are in that university are grateful because of some of the actions we took. So right there and then, I found things like the Microsoft Student Partner Program. I found things like the Microsoft BizSpark, a $13,000 support in software for young people who have a business idea or who can create one app or the other. I got the BizSpark, this $13,000 worth of software. So when I say I am not here for a marketing commercial, you know what I mean. I experienced it totally before I even had a chance to apply for a role at Microsoft. Today I work at Microsoft and I speak to young people all around Nigeria to tell them, you have no excuse. You have no reason to complain. The education system might be as it is, but we need a set of young people who are hungry enough to realize that if they must be drivers of tomorrow's economy, of today's economy, they must take responsibility for their own personal growth. Am I talking to you? Everything around us is changing. The way we live, the way we love, the way we learn. Love has a new definition with Instagram. Love has a new definition with bae. You know what I mean? Love has a new definition. And the way we live, the way we love, the way we learn, we change. There are 200 million people perhaps in Nigeria today. The census tells us 170. But we know what that means is that there are 400 million legs who must wear shoes. We know that there are 200 million people who must buy medicine, who must eat. And they must be able to get access to these things. Who will do these things? Who will make these things happen? At Microsoft, we are proud that our technology enables people to do even more. Researchers have found out that there are three main things that employers are looking for. And if you are here, you are a job seeker, you need these three things. Write it down, don't ever forget. Number one, communication skills. Effective communication. Employers are consistently looking for young people who will be able to communicate, who have not bastardized their tenses with shorthand and slangs, who still know the spelling of before, who still know the spelling of therefore, who still know the spelling of this, and will write it on Twitter even though it's 140 characters. Those are the people employers are looking for. Employers are looking for people who know that communication, that speaking or talking is only a very small part of communication. Who realize that body language, tone, the way you carry yourself, your poise, are all very critical things in communication. Number one. Number two, employers are looking for very strong cognitive thinking. Ability to solve problems without being told. So I told a set of people in Obafemi Awolowo University just last weekend that if you get a job, one of the easiest ways to do so is to be the one interviewing your interviewer. I told them how important it is. I mean, young people want to go. I talk like I'm not a young person. We young people want a job and we go somewhere and we don't even know about the company we are going to interview in. A mentor of mine told me when I was in year 2 in the university, and that taught me a key lesson. He said to me, if I was ever allowed to sit before an interview panel, I would tell them these few things. I would tell them, XYZ company, in the past few years, I have been studying your model. I realized you have 4 competitors. These are their strengths. I will tell you 2 now and tell you the remaining 4 when I'm hired. I'm not sure there's any employer who realizes that you know your onions that way would reject you. They must be really stupid. So things are changing and we must change with it, not just in the consuming sense of it. Because truly we are adapting to technology. We are changing in the consuming sense of it. All of us are opening new Instagram pages for our businesses, for ourselves, and we post pictures, no filter, all over the place. Exciting. But we must be producing. So in 2013, I realized that there was no app in the Microsoft Windows Store to teach people how to tie the traditional head tie called gele. And so I decided to create an app called Wegele. You must not look to the West to get the content for your society, for your space. We can't continue to do this. You have to look inwards and create what will work for us in our own languages. So, and I attended just one boot camp of how to develop a Windows Phone app. One boot camp at the University of Lagos. Organized by the For Africa program. So we can't just stay on the consuming angle. Come on, say I will produce. Come on, I can't hear you say I will produce. How to be the driver of the digital economy is to take the driver's seat, not the passenger seat. Don't wait for what else Facebook Inc. will create. Don't wait for what else will be created on any other platform. Use existing technology to create things for yourself, adapt it in entirely new ways, and make things happen for yourself. How would you interpret the numbers around you? Every day you read about the exploding numbers in Nigeria, the population. You hear about how many people need maternal health. You hear about the numbers. I mean, the numbers we're most familiar with is the numbers of, money that has been lost, number of lives that have been lost. We're very familiar with these numbers. But what will we do with technology to make these things happen? How do we interpret the numbers? Very soon, and as I begin to come towards the end of what I'm here for, there will be so much around us, clusters of knowledge to search for. And you and I must begin to make sense out of these numbers. We have to begin to make sense out of these things that are just all over us. There are so many music videos coming out every day. And I say this because we understand that very key part. I mean, the only part of the produce what you consume equation that Nigeria fulfills is listening to our music and watching our movies. Am I correct? So at least somebody needs to be creating stuff. Somebody needs to be building things. Somebody needs to be writing programs. And as much as I respect programmers, he is here. And as much as I respect coders, he is also here again. I say it again. Today, the platforms that exist don't even need you to be able to program. Just use what is existing. The Windows App Studio will make you create an app for yourself to solve your personal problems within 2 days. Some even get their app certified within a day. Things have become so easy. You deploy on a SharePoint server, your site is on once. You use Windows Azure. Once you can provision mobile services within a few minutes. These are things you would need to buy a physical server to do years ago. So you don't have an excuse. Come and look at the person sitting beside you. Say, you do not have an excuse, brother. Now it's looking like church, right? My head of communications came just a few minutes ago to me and said, don't preach. I'm going to share with you some really key programs that I think you should key in. Number one is the Dream Spark program. We give free access to designers and developer tools for free so that you can advance your learning and teaching of technical skills if you have to teach other people, but basically for you to be able to create solutions. It's called Dream Spark. Dream, like a dream. Spark, like a spark. S-P-A-R-K. The Dream Spark codes that give access to all kinds of software is given to several universities are already beneficiaries of this. And if you are in any academic institution, you can get access to it. The second one is the Imagine Corp. It's a software competition for young people, and it has produced amazing results in the past few years. Imagine Corp. To imagine. Imagine Corp. C-U-P. The Imagine Corp program brings together software developers from all over the country. If you have not heard about it, you need to go search for it. It brings developers all together for them to think about how to solve our dominant challenges with technology. And in the past, nobody, I repeat, nobody who has passed through the Imagine Corp program has gone ahead to look for a job. They have gone ahead to become job providers. I can mention a few names. David Olaniyan of Infinity Technologies. Biola Olaniran has become Africa's most sought-after game developer with over 10 million downloads in the Windows Store. After becoming winner of the national competition about 3-4 years ago, he got mentored by people at Microsoft, and he got access to a lot of support, and today he is mentoring and supporting other people. He employs about 13 people. The Challenge for Change contest was introduced early this year for young people around the world to find ways to solve problems in their society. A young boy from Futa, who is in year 1, won the competition and is representing Nigeria in Nicaragua with a $2,500 grant to be able to execute this project, a Windows Surface Pro 3, and a couple of other things for him. Challenge for Change. Find out. B-Spark. I talked about B-Spark earlier. A 3-year mentoring program and support, over $100,000 worth of software and support, but in your first year, you will get access to as much as $13,000 worth of software. Free Azure credit, $150 every month. And the National Employability Portal is a program I personally look after. The Employability Portal program is a program that wants to face and solve the problem of unemployment in Nigeria by not only getting people the skills necessary for jobs, but also getting entrepreneurs prepared for jobs. So you see, there are all kinds of organizations ready for you and I. The U.S. Consulate is working. Jobberman is working. They're partnering with Microsoft. We're working together. And Della is doing the same. There has never been this much opportunity for us, friends. We must take it. I wish I had the same opportunity that some of us have now. I wish I had them. Maybe I would have turned out a lot better. I'm still turning out anyway. I'm saying I turned out as if I'm 50. So the Employability Portal, an initiative, joint initiative by the Future Project, Microsoft, Jobberman, and a couple of other partners that we're bringing on board now, just to get people access. I was going through the lots of courses on it yesterday, and it's amazing. Many of these things are not taught in schools. I did computer science. I didn't have any course on communication skills. Nobody taught me about etiquette. And these are things that the job space, the entrepreneurship space is looking for. Cloudpreneur program was launched also early this year to create born in the cloud entrepreneurs. A set of people were trained by Microsoft, Mara Foundation, and a couple of other partners to learn about the Microsoft cloud business and how they can key into it to become whatever they want to be. I'm sure later this year, another set will be launched. So these are all different schemes available for you. I challenge you, my friends, in the next few years from now, when you'll be daddies and mummies, when Nigeria will be 70 and 80, are we still going to be talking about these same problems we complain about today? Or are we going to be proud that some young people came to the Hedge series in 2015 and decided to make a difference by driving their own digital economy? This is my question for you sincerely. And I really don't want an answer. What I want is that one day soon I will see you on the pages of newspaper, on the pages of the online newspapers, everywhere seeing the great things that you do with technology, that you have not decided to leave the destiny of our nation as far as technology is concerned into the hands of any other person from all over the world. We have a responsibility. Thank you. I'd like you to follow these handles, Microsoft NG, because I'm sure some of you didn't catch some of the opportunities I mentioned, but you would get on-time notice, you will get news from these handles. Follow at KB McQueen, and then follow me if you wish, and you will definitely get info about all the things you have to become. I thank you for your time one more time. God bless you.